We are back from the Christmas and New Year's holidays. So welcome back everyone to the podcast. If you listened to some of our episodes over the last week, those were kind of pre-recorded from before. So we are officially back live. You're hearing us on the air. We're super stoked. We hope you guys all had an amazing holiday. Today on the show, we want to talk about our biggest predictions for 2026 with AI. I feel like even in the last week, a lot has happened that has changed what my predictions would have been before. So it's officially January. We're officially in 2026. We're going to make our predictions for what's happening this year. I'm going to kick this over to Connor to get started, and then I have some wild predictions that I will give. And the end of this year, we are going to do a recap episode where we review our predictions this year. We will hold ourselves accountable. So I can't say anything too crazy I don't believe will happen. Connor, I'll let you kick this off.
Okay. So hopefully these will sound a little different. By the way, Happy New Year to everyone by the time you're listening. I know we're a few days in and I were just catching up as we were saying, Jaeden. Just tiny bit here. Vacations are always awesome, but they're exhausting. Am I right, people? You know what I mean? Like Jaeden has sort of a younger family than me. We have two teens. It was awesome. We did some traveling. It was awesome, but it was great to be back in the flow. Jaeden, it's great to hear your voice. It's great to see you. It's nice to be back and talking to our audience again. So thank you again, everybody, for joining. And again, sort of like, hope you guys had a great break. We did, but I don't know. I'm happy to get back to it. I was kind of itching to get back to this. All right. Okay. We'll each kind of like do three, Jaeden, I think, right? So okay. So let me just try with this one first. Everybody said 2025 was going to be the year of the agent. I had said from the beginning that it wasn't. By the way, I got a lot of other things wrong, but I don't think 2025 was the year of the agent. And I'm also not sure 2026 will be the year of the agent in the way that everybody thinks of it. And what I mean by that is, there's a tremendous focus on, can agents do this and this? I believe that agents will become wildly more technically capable, but not more broadly used in a meaningful way where it's like everybody at the end of the year is using agents. I just don't think it's going to happen. The reason why I don't think it's going to happen is not because it's not capable, but because I think that the general public is way more behind on AI than everybody seems to think. We live in a bubble. So in this case, what I am seeing is that people don't even really know that agents exist. They generally know that it might take their job. They don't even really know what that means. But the biggest problem with agents that I find is that even the absolute power users who are building agents and all that kind of stuff, they are still having problems because agents just are not reliable enough to really do work on their own. They still need a lot of management. And I think this skill of agent management is one that is wildly underdeveloped. And that's because it is also wildly underdeveloped our fluency with AI as a general public. And the people who would really use these are the kind of like the people in a lot of different kinds of jobs across a corporation. Now, I do think that there will be a lot more pressure to use, and I do think that they will be more finely developed and everything like that. I do think that if there are agents that come out, they will be like in the HR realm. That's where I think they're going to exist the most. But otherwise, I think anybody thinking that 2026 is going to be the year of the agents when everybody starts using them, I think they're going to be sorely disappointed. Jaeden, you.
Okay, my first prediction is AI hardware. So I know we've seen in the past a bunch of AI hardware companies. We've had the Humane Pin, which came out, spent hundreds of millions of dollars, kind of flopped, got acquired, bankrupt, whatever you want to call it. Sadly, I know Connor knew a lot of people on the team, and it was a talented team. It didn't happen. We then had the Rabbit R1. It's kind of fizzled. It's not a big thing. We have the friend pendant that records everything. Hey, there's a bunch of these devices. I've actually recently purchased one called B as a company that Amazon just acquired. Absolute flaming garbage. Okay. My prediction is that 2026, we will see a massive acceleration of AI mixed with hardware. I don't think this is a shocker. I'm not really predicting anything there because Google has like some products on the horizon. OpenAI and Johnny Ive have products on the horizon. There's a lot of people that will do it. My prediction, though, is that all of these AI hardware products will flop, except for one. The one form factor to rule them all will be glasses, and I think that will be a major smash success. We're going to start seeing that run away. I already know people who I would not really call early adopters by any means, or like cutting edge technology people who have the Meta Ray-Bans and they love them. And if normal people can get behind them and already start to wear them, the technology isn't that advanced. Basically, what we're going to see in 2026 is the AR capabilities. So you're going to have superimposed things on the lenses. So if you're looking at Google Maps, there's going to be an arrow on your lens that shows you where to turn if you enable it. Google already has a product like this that they demoed at Google I/O, but of course it's not out yet. I think that this year, whether Google drops it or not, there will be other players doing hardware glasses, and I think those will be a major success. We're going to see a big uptick. I'd be curious by the end of the year if Google's product won't be out and if you'll be able to buy that or not. Meta is going to do a lot of amazing things. A lot of people are going to go in this direction. So my prediction is that lots of AI hardware will come out. It will flop, and the only true form factor will be glasses.
Okay, I like that. Jaeden, who do you think is going to lead the chart? Do you think it's going to be Meta or Google, or an independent? If you had to put your money on it,
Meta, honestly, the only thing they have done right in a long time in technology, in my opinion, is the Meta Ray-Ban. They also have an Oakley collaboration, whatever, the same thing. Their smart glasses, I think, are their top thing that they've done. I don't think they'll be the long-term winner. I think Google will, because Google has all of the software that you love. And so, I mean, I would love to say Apple would get in there, but I don't have a lot of faith in Apple at the moment. Meta has a lot of experience because they invested tens of billions of dollars into their VR. And so because of this, like, Meta really has a leg up on everyone. And it's kind of the way that, like, Google was the OG with AI, and now they're crushing it because they already had such a solid AI research base, and they invented the transformer, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like Meta has the exact same thing with the hardware on this. So I think it will be a stiff competition between Google and Meta. I would say Meta will probably have the best hardware, and Google will have the best software. It'll be interesting to see which of those is more important to people.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, prediction number 2 is voice. We have been saying for 2 years that voice was going to change everything. We thought it was going to change the user interface, everything like that. Even as voice got unbelievably good, and it's unbelievably good now, it has not significantly changed the experience. It has for power users, I think, but not for everybody. I think we kept on thinking this is going to be the user interface that's going to change, drive adoption in a whole new way. I have simply not seen that. I think people are using voice in really interesting ways, but it hasn't really moved the needle on adoption as far as I've seen anyway. I think that will change in 2026. I think that we will see a voice by the end of 2026, and I'm guessing it's going to come out of either Gemini or Anthropic. And if it's coming out of Anthropic, I am foreseeing or predicting that Microsoft and Anthropic get much closer together. I think Microsoft loves the product coming out of Anthropic. I think Anthropic is doing phenomenal work. And I feel like Anthropic, because it's so natural, I think that Anthropic or Gemini, I'm not sure, will be poised to come out with a voice that's just going to absolutely blow people away, that people will be very hard pressed to ignore, and maybe paired with something like, it's coming through your AirPods or something like that, where it really sounds like you're talking to a person, almost like the movie You, back from 2013, that style where it feels like you're talking to a person. I've already seen it with Notebook LM, that you can interrupt Notebook LM. That's why I'm thinking maybe Gemini, but just because of how natural Anthropic's Claude sounds, I think this is the year where something by the end of the year will be like, holy cow, like voice is now, and I think it's really going to take, I think the thing that's going to drive it, I may be wrong on this, but the thing that's going to drive it is not work. It's going to be the sort of the character AI. It's going to be like young person interaction with AI is going to be driven through voice more than anything else. I think that's where it's going to explode onto the scene with a new model.
Okay, I love that. And I will say, yeah, the voice is getting so much better, but I think there's still quite a ways to go with it. I'm a very extensive user. I'm currently on 11 Labs $1,300 a month plan for their AI, and I can't stop. It's impressive, but I still see a lot of room to grow. So that's gonna be interesting to see. This is my like scary prediction, but I actually think it's quite accurate, and this is due to some news that I've been researching. But essentially, I think 2026, it might be near the end of the year, we will see one of our first major AI cybersecurity incidents, whatever that means. There's some really interesting news where OpenAI has been talking about how they are pushing their models very heavily to test them for cybersecurity. They're trying to be super, super safe. But they've also said that they're essentially training, the way that they do this is they train the AI model to be the ultimate cybersecurity hacker. Then they see what it does, and they try to like curb what it could do. But this doesn't essentially get away from the fact that they are training the AI model to be the ultimate cybersecurity hacker. And I think that this is the approach that everyone's going to have to take. So whether that's Anthropic or OpenAI or Google or Meta. And I think at some point, kind of like the Wuhan lab, COVID, whatever you want to call that situation, I think we will have the virus leak out of the labs that are testing it, and we'll have a major cybersecurity incident this year. So I know that sounds crazy. I think that is going to happen. How we contain it, what the implications are, will be interesting to see. And maybe that doesn't mean it's like the virus gets out on its own and it starts infecting everyone like crazy. But I think like bad actors, someone will figure out how to get that capability out of it and will use it for something. Maybe North
Okay, so now we
Korea.
have to root against Jaden's predictions, by the way. Like, we are now officially rooting that Jaden is wrong. Yeah, I wanted at the end of this year, I want to be like, Jaden, you were so stupid. That was and I'd hate to be like, well, Jaden, I guess you were right now that the sort of robots have
We'll
invaded.
see. I'm putting my neck out for that one for sure.
Please, God, be wrong. Okay, third and final for me is that this is the year where it really hits the AI hits the mainstream in terms of political talking points. Like in the same way that we're talking about, the economy and affordability and, Venezuela and things like that. Like, agree or disagree with the current administration, anything like that. It has nothing to do with the current administration. It has, I think it's going to be happening on the lower levels of Congress, the Senate, the House, et cetera, where people are going to start coming out really adamantly for and against AI, mostly against because they really have nothing to. If you are a politician, you have nothing to gain by saying you're pro AI. I mean, nothing. Like most people, when they hear AI, they think, and this is what I hear when I'm doing like keynotes and stuff like that, but this is what I hear when I'm just like in the Ubers and I'm talking to people on the street and everything like that. They're like, yeah, heck no, man. That thing's going to take my job, and I'm not doing that. And like, oh yeah, those companies. And once you dive in a little bit, you're like, so what is it about it? They're like, it's just killing the environment and it's taking jobs. And what do you like about it? Like, why would you? I think that politicians have a huge opening, especially because we're coming into a really contested race in the U.S. Over the next coming couple of years. Everybody's looking for an edge, affordability, all that kind of stuff. But this ties in because it's all about job security and everything like that. I think this is the year where it really starts making headlines in political ways, and people really start sort of like establishing themselves as the anti-AI. In the same way Bernie Sanders is the kind of like anti-corporate kind of guy, there's
Hmm.
going to be people who are known as this, and the people who are pro-AI are going to get destroyed because there's very few like AI voters, I guess is what I'm thinking. So I
Mm.
feel like 2026 is going to be the year that this really, really hits the mainstream in political terms.
Okay, I like it. I'm excited to watch it unfold. I am here for the drama. As a
Yeah.
Canadian living in America, it's the most exciting country in the world. Okay, my last prediction is that this year is going to be the year we start to see some of this technology, which of course we've all been seeing it leaked and talked about in demos and yada yada, but we're actually going to start seeing it in a real way is AI mixed with robotics, and
Hmm.
beyond just seeing AI robotics in warehouses, which is of course what we've been seeing for a while, and Amazon's invested heavily in this and a lot of other companies. I think we're going to start seeing humanoid robots with AI built into them, and we're going to start seeing people actually able to purchase and use, and like it's kind of like this the same way I remember when I saw my first demo of, I think it's a Boston Dynamics like dog looking robot
Yeah.
thing that would like walk around, and it was like insane and amazing. I think a lot of people will see, whether like in person, they will actually see one of these humanoid robots somewhere. Maybe that's at a conference, maybe it's a demo. You might
Hmm.
not have it in your home, but I think we'll actually see them, and it's basically the ramp up to potentially mass adoption in the future where everyone
Hmm.
has one in their home. But I think you're going to see your first AI humanoid robot this year. So that's my next prediction.
Love this. Mark it. Bookmark this. We're going to find out in 12 months whether we sounded ridiculous or not. Guys, welcome to the new year. Thanks for having us. One other thing that I want to sort of like mention, by the way, is that Jaden was just telling me offline, and I don't know if they're ready to announce it yet, but we'll talk about it maybe on the next pod. Is AI Box is doing some really, really cool new things. This is Jaden's company, $19 a month. Obviously, you have access to all the different models, which is really phenomenal. I spend hundreds of dollars a month just sort of like, comparing answers between Claude and Gemini and ChatGPT and everything. And all of a sudden on AI Box, you can just do that for nothing. And also you're able to, map out workflows, and it's super, super, super cool, super worth the money. Jaden, it's really taking off. He's told me some stuff offline, which I can't share yet, but the new features and capabilities, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So we will talk about that, but get in there now. Really, really recommend it. It's a great way to start the year, and we will see you all next time.
See you guys later.